Before I'm starting to talk about the situation, we have today very concerning statistic when it comes to dating and when it comes to marriages. I said that in one of my previous lectures recently that most of the couples who are getting married, unfortunately within 4 years they're getting divorced, which we are talking more than 70% already. Technically, according to the Torah, we always go by the majority. We go by the majority. We do not go by the minority. We always have to go al pi rov, acharei rabim la'atot. Technically, if you really think about it, we came to a situation that if a person review what's going on out there, it would be almost not allowed to get married. Same thing I said, the Torah say you have to lend money to your Jewish poor brother. Brother, not literally brother, from the same mother or father. Brother means any Jewish friend of yours that you know, he comes for help. You had an obligation to lend him money. If you have the money and he needs a loan, you give him a loan and you make a due date, you put witnesses that you gave him the loan, and it's a very big mitzvah. Bigger than sometimes it's giving somebody a loan and helping him to put himself in business or something. It's more important than giving him charity. Because charity is a one-time favor and it's over and that's it. But this is something that will help him forever, putting him on his feet. Today when someone is collapsing, everybody runs away from him. Because everyone is afraid, oh, if I'm going to put my money by him, I'll never see it. Technically today, there's no more obligation to lend money to people. Why? Because the statistic in the old days used to be that from every 100 people that you lend the money, maybe one doesn't return. Maybe one. And that's already a very rare situation. You really didn't have, or once in a blue moon you fall on a crook that it was planned not to return. So today it's called chazakah, certainty. Chazakah that people don't pay back. Reality, cannot argue with the numbers. You take 100 people, I'm not talking not religious. Not religious is 95% don't return. 5% will return, 95% will play games. They pay 1 or 2 or 3 months, then they start playing games, even if they have millions. That's the way the world became. I'm talking religious people, many of them don't pay back. So that's already not an obligation, knowing that you give a loan and you never see your money. Torah didn't tell you to burn your money. The Torah said, give a loan knowing you get it back. But since you know today there's almost no chance to get it back, there's no more an obligation. Same thing marriages. If you see that all marriages are chas v'shalom failing, almost most of them, what's the point of getting married? That's what a person has to ask himself. So what's the difference? When you give a loan to someone, it's not in your hand. If he will return it or not, it's not anymore in your hand. It's depend on his free choice, of his dignity. And once he decides to give it back, he gives it back. If you decide not to give it back, there's nothing you can do. To be successful in your marriage is 100% in your hand. That's why you're still obligated to get married. Even if 99% of the people fail, you can be the 1% that succeed. I said in previous lecture, everybody has to know, turn the screen, everybody has to know that there are 3 different categories in the life of a person in this world. There is the category that everyone is anxious to get there, happily married. Happily married. It's a very small category, because hardly anyone makes it there. Happily married, every day it's rejoicing and happiness and living and enjoying every hour. It's very rare. Then there is miserably married, and then there's miserably single. 3 different categories. Now I want to ask your opinion. The married and the singles. The married has an advantage. They know both sides. The single only know one situation. What do you think is worse? Miserably single or miserably married?
Married, of course. Single.
We have a disagreement here. All the single guys, they are ready to swear that no matter what, let me just get married better than what I am right now. Any way you want it, just let me first get married. Because of that thinking, many of them making critical mistakes that will cost them 30 or 40 years of suffering later. Because of that feeling that no matter what, it will be better than what I am right now. The answer is absolutely not true. It's much, much better to be miserably single than to be miserably married. Why? Because when a person is miserably single, what keeps him going in his life is the knowledge that one day I'll make it. I'll find a wife and I'll get out of my misery. The fact that a person knows I have a chance to change my status, to change my situation, gives them a lot of hope and energy to go on with his life. When a person is already miserably married and he has kids, and now to break the package and go to fight and all these things, they don't even want to start with that. They know our hope, our future is very black. Where are we heading from here? No hope. When a person lives with no hope, his life is empty, finished, is over. It's like a dead person. Same thing, I always ask, miserably poor or miserably rich? What's better? Everybody scream. Much better to be miserably rich. The answer is no. It's much better to be miserably poor for the same concept. He's thinking one day I'll make the million and I'll be a happy man. He doesn't understand that money never brings happiness. It's only an illusion of a week or 3 weeks and it's over. It's expired. The spell expired. And then reality is bitter as it was and sometimes even more. You know? So the idea is when a person lives with a hope, his situation is better when he doesn't have hope. Remember this. It's always like that. So let's go back now. Since it's 100% in our hand, I can get married and be happy. It's in my hand. That's why I have to do it even though right now the status, the situation is that statistically it's not a wise thing to do. Who can tell me what are the reasons for marriage problems? Yeah, let's name them one by one. What do you think is the most popular problem in marriage, in marriages that people have?
In-laws getting involved.
In-laws getting involved is right. It's a very big problem. Yeah.
Two things. One is in the bedroom, and two is money.
Money, it's an issue. In intimate relationship, it's also an issue. Yes. So we name already 3 problems. We go one by one to see how we can. Communication, miscommunication, ego. I should say not only ego, personality, traits, behaving, midot. What we say midot. So we have 5 things. What else? One more thing. One more. There's always a lot of little things. One more thing.
People don't want to compromise.
That's a part of midot. It's traits.
Lack of Torah?
Lack of Torah, you can also say, but one more thing. Not understanding the purpose of marriage. Getting married, going to be a doctor not knowing what a doctor is it realistic? Can you become a doctor not understanding what a doctor has to do? It's impossible, right? Can you be a lawyer without knowing what the lawyer is supposed to do in court? What's the purpose of that job? Impossible. But it's definitely possible to become a husband and die a husband and not know 1 minute of your life what's the role of a husband in this world. Same thing with a wife. It's very possible. And that's caused a lot of problems. Why? If a person thinks that his wife is another roommate, like he used to have before he got married, treating her like a roommate obviously will never have a great, kosher, healthy marriage. Roommates is roommates. Wife and husbands is 2 different things. Many couples living like roommates. They leave in the morning, they go to work, they see each other a little bit once in a while, they're getting a little bit closer here and there. That's just about it. They share some money, some things, and that's it. And everybody's always worried when we will have to get divorced, I have to protect my future. So they begin to cheat, and everybody does all kinds of things. I see the phone calls I get. Wives are worried about their security, what's going to happen, I know he's going to leave me, what am I going to do? I have some money on the side, should I tell him, should I not tell him? My parents gave me money, I don't want him to know. As soon as the marriage starts, in America there's an invention called prenuptial agreement. Before you get married, you already get divorced. That's in America. You know, you have to first get divorced and then to get married. You understand? That's literally already arranging the divorce situation. It's hard to blame them, knowing that many women or many guys are after money. So the other side knowing that maybe she doesn't really want me. So since she doesn't want me, I have to prepare the medicine for the sickness that is about to come. I have to be ready. I don't want to look for the medicine when I'm already sick. I have to have it in my closet, that when it comes, I'm ready. If I have it, I get out of it without casualties. If I don't have it, by the time I find it, it will be too late. Somebody asked the Chafetz Chaim, Rabbi, I had a baby boy. When should I start educating, mechanech oto? Where? When? He told him, how old is he? He said, 20 minutes. Just bought 20 minutes ago. Chafetz Chaim said, it's already too late. So what do you mean? He was just born. He said 18 years before he was born, you had to start educating him, which means educate yourself. And I say to you today, the same thing applies to when you come to ask the rabbi, how do I prepare for my marriage? The rabbi asks, when are you getting married? And say, in 1 week. It's already too late. For a week before the marriage, you come to ask the rabbi, can you prepare me for my marriage? I have to understand what marriage is all about. A week before the wedding, you want to know what marriage is all about. How are you going to be successful? In all the lectures that I give about family and about datings and these topics, I always like to say this, what I'm going to tell you now. If I had the time and the money, the first thing I would do, and believe me, it would be a great business. Maybe one clever, rich guy will get the idea and do something like that. I will open a college. Not that I like colleges. I didn't change my mind about colleges. No. I will make a kosher college for one reason. Why do we need college? To teach people the role of a husband, the role of the wife, and children education. Things that you need for a family. Mamash, like 6-month course every day from morning to evening, teaching the husbands what's all the psychology of a woman, crisis in a marriage, how to handle situation, compliments, depression before labor, depression after labor, how to handle the in-laws, what happened when there's contradiction about the raising the kids. So many situations that we have every day, and we're only guessing what to do because we don't know the answers. Now you have to be honest with me. To count on the rabbis to give you the answer to your question, it would be very foolish. Not that the rabbis don't know the answer. They know the answer, but for every person who asks, they have 1,000. And they have X amount of time to answer. To reach them on the phone, it's a nightmare. After 2-3 weeks, when you dedicate yourself a rabbi, and you finally try to call 500 times to ask a question, if to send the boy to that camp or not, then you realize it's not realistic. How can I rely on him to tell me what to do? So the answer is, you have to prepare. You have to be on rabbi. One very wealthy woman from here in New York went with her husband to Israel. And her husband wanted one rabbi in my yeshiva in Yerushalayim. I introduced between him and him. And they became friends. They meet each other in a kotel. They daven first thing in the morning in the nets, 4 or 5 in the morning. So every time that guy from New York goes to Israel, automatically he meets that rabbi in a kotel. They don't have to make an appointment. Oh, you here? Very good. And they see each other for a week every morning. So he said, the next time when I come with my wife and children in the summer, I really want my wife to be friendly with your wife. And I have to understand. This is the wife of a very wealthy man, very classy. I don't want to say the word spoiled, but I don't have any other better word. You know, American style, you know, in Hebrew we say prima donna, it actually is in Spanish. And the wife of that rabbi is raising 10 children in one little tiny room in a very, very old apartment in Jerusalem. Everything is very tight, full emunah. The house is only Torah. The kids knows the entire Chumash by heart. The house is only Torah, nothing else there. Two complete opposite people. So when they met, first of all, the wealthy woman, she was hating herself every minute more than before. Why? Because she has a big mansion in a very expensive neighborhood here that worth a lot of money. And then she was thinking to myself, how can I complain all the time about my situation, that she has kids, and she has only 1 or 2 maids, and she wanted 5. The things that she's complaining about, when she saw how people live in that neighborhood, she felt so guilty. It's better than sending her to a college. She learned in 1 hour about life more than she learned in 30 years. But that wasn't the point. What was the punchline? The punchline when she asked her, who is your rabbi? So she told her, what do you mean, who's my rabbi? My husband is my rabbi. So she said, your husband is your rabbi? They don't understand that concept. She said, of course, who else is going to be my rabbi? Everybody here is a rabbi. He learns all his life. Everyone here, hundreds of people walking in the street. Here, this is a rabbi, this is a rabbi. What do they do all their life? Learn Torah. So they know all the answers. Every question I have, I ask my husband. What should I do here? What should I do there? What are we going to do here? I have the answer. So that's very good. You have to know who to get married to. Some ladies prepare the nice house with a pool, with 5 maids, but the husband doesn't even know how to open Gemara. You give him Gemara, he holds it upside down. You say, where is Rashi? On the left or on the right? But he has a $30,000 watch. That's what she wants. Some are more clever. They don't want this world. They want eternity. So they go for somebody that is more knowledgeable in Torah. Now, it's not about if you know Torah or not. It's going to affect every minute of your life. You have to know that. The Gemara says someone who marries his daughter to an ignorant Jew, it's like tying her to a tree with ropes in front of a hungry lion. That's the comparison that the Torah does. If you have a daughter and somebody came with this fancy car and said, I want to marry your daughter, don't worry about the wedding. We pay everything. We pay the apartment. We pay the car. And if you need help in your business, we'll help you as well. Just allow me to marry your daughter. What's the problem? He's a nice guy. Let's say that he's honest in his business. Let's say he's nice looking. Let's say that his parents are not divorced, if it's possible to still find something like this today. And everything looks okay. There's only one problem. He doesn't know any Torah. In a shul here, 5 minutes, the rabbi speak a little bit before Musaf. That's basically the Torah that he learns the whole week. So most people would say, oh, very good, I want my daughter to marry such a guy. We will never have to worry about money issues, right? In reality-wise, and the next lecture we have to make an arrangement with the neighbors. Maybe we'll break the wall. Huh?
We were thinking
you have Jewish neighbors in one side? Maybe we'll break. Expand. Yeah. You know, when they used to go to Yerushalayim and the 3 festivals, Shloshet HaRegalim, maybe 1 million people comes besides the people who live in Yerushalayim. So they come over there. So where is room for everybody to sleep? So the Gemara says Yerushalayim is like Eretz Tzvi. It's the land of the deer. Like they have in Long Island, Deer Park Avenue, or Deer Park, right? I don't know why they call it Deer Park, because they have deers over there. But Yerushalayim called the deer land, not because they have deers over there. No deers in Yerushalayim, to the best of my knowledge. So why they call it deer? Why they call it deer? Because it's stretched. The skin of the deer stretch a lot. You can stretch it, and it doesn't get ripped right away like other skin or other leather. You can stretch it. So it's called, so when more and more people came, it felt like Jerusalem is expanding. There's more room, and even in Bet HaMikdash, miracles. Hundreds of people bowing down, no one's head touched the back of his friend. Even though they're like sardines. When they go like this, modim, they don't touch one another. That's a miracle. In one tiny room, hundreds of people are getting inside, even though normally it's not supposed to be even for 100 people. Hundreds or maybe thousands of people. I remember one time Rabbi Ovadia Yosef came to Brooklyn to give a lecture in Purim 14 years ago. And I went there with a camera, video camera. I went an hour before because I knew it's going to be packed. I know the shul is very small. Maybe normally you can fit 100 to 150 people in that shul, maximum. So I set the first row with my camera right in his face, mamash, 1 feet from his face. By the time everybody came in, maybe 1,500 people came into that shul. That when there's 150 people on Shabbat there, you're like sardine, you cannot move. 1,500 people inside the shul, and another 5,000 people on the street. The police closed maybe 4 blocks. So, blessing like sardines inside the place. Anyway, let's go back to what we started. So the first rule in marriage is first to prepare in advance, not a week or 2 or 3 before you get married. Way before. You may say, but I don't have anything actual. I don't have a shidduch yet. Doesn't matter. You have to behave with emunah that your shidduch is coming in 6-7 months from now. You have to be ready for that day. By the way, you should know. If a person is ready for the shidduch, the boy and the girl, they read enough book, they went to classes to learn about it, sometimes even in the internet they have classes about it, how to prepare, what's the role of a wife, what's the role of a husband, relationship, all the sources in the Torah about relationship, which I'm going to quote some of them soon. If a person is ready, Hashem has more incentive to find him his soulmate. Why? You're ready for your mission. Why shouldn't I help you? Like everything else in life. If a person is ready to go to the higher level of learning Torah, a week later Hashem gets him a rabbi that comes around and says, oh, you want to join my class? If he wouldn't be ready, that miracle wouldn't happen. Same thing when a person starts to become religious. So they asked me, okay, watch your DVD. Today it happened. Somebody from Israel called me. He said, I had this guy. He wasn't religious at all. This is an American guy who made Aliyah to Israel. He knows an Israeli guy that is completely not religious. So he asked me, what do you think we should do? I said, there's only one solution. To give him the CD, Torah and Science, in Hebrew, because he's an Israeli. Let him watch 4-hour seminar, DVD with music and pictures. And if it doesn't help, most likely nothing will help. We know we did our best. And it's only cost us $1. It's worth it. And to sit with him 4 hours and to argue, you just give it to him, and he's getting everything in one shot. Today he called, that was a week ago. Today he called, he said, listen, your idea was perfect. The guy is shocked. Is amazed. He cannot believe how powerful it was. But what now? Thank you. What now? He says. So I said, what's the next step? Where does he live? He's saying in the city of Chulon. I said, tell him to find a local synagogue, one kosher synagogue, walk into the synagogue, come and shake the hand of the rabbi. Shalom, rabbi. My name is such and such. I'm starting to become religious. Help me out. From here, everything will start to work, mamash, like miracle after miracle. Don't worry about it. All he has to do is just to step into the synagogue. And I'm telling you the same thing. If you ever make a person religious, he asks, what am I doing now? I don't know anything. So just walk into the shul in your neighborhood. Come to the rabbi. A week later, you know 5 guys. This guy invites you for Shabbat. From here on, the miracles of Hashem will start happening one after the other. But the rule is that you have to make the first step. פיתחו לי פתח כפתחו של מחט. You have to make the first step forward. From then on, Hashem does everything. You don't make that step, 20 years you stand in the same place. I know such Baalei Tshuva like this. 15 years, supposedly they're Shomer Shabbos, and they exactly like the week that they became religious. What a tragedy. A person found the truth and 15 years did not make one step forward. Wow, what a disaster. Same thing. Mama, same thing. Doesn't know one halakha in Shabbat. You sit with him in a table. Every minute you're already embarrassed to say. He makes mistakes, one after the other. Mechalel Shabbat here and here, squeezing, taking the sponge, squeezing, cooking, pulling back liquid things to the blech. Mamash, one chilul Shabbat after the other. Cutting from the tree. Oh, mamash, horrible things. Why is it? He never came to that shul. He never came to show up. Never came to show up. Same thing in marriage. If you think you're going to start learning when you finally meet your soulmate, it's going to be by then too late. By the time you learn, it will be too late. There will be too many problems. So let's make a right order right here. What's the first thing a person has to do to prepare himself for the day of the marriage? Second, he has to work very, very strong on his personality, on his character. If he's stubborn, he has to be easygoing. He cannot be fighting with every little thing. He cannot have ego. He cannot be stingy. A stingy person can never be happily married. Never. My advice to the single girls here, first thing you check when they're offering you a guy, if he's stingy or not. If he's stingy, don't even agree to meet with him 1 minute. Why? This is a very, very serious mental disease that it takes years to cure. You don't have the time right now until he cures himself. Other things can be cured in 3 months, in 6 months. If a person learns Torah, he can get rid of his ego in 6 months, even though he will never get rid of it 100%. But when he reads in the Torah how much Hashem cannot stand a person with high ego and a proud person, slowly, slowly he will get into his understanding that, hey, I gotta change, I have to change, Hashem cannot stand me. It will motivate him to change. Loving money and crying when you get rid of $1 of it, it's very difficult to change. How a person stop being stingy? It's like working out in a gym. When you show up the first day to the gym, how many pounds you lift? Let's see somebody like me come with mushy muscles, no muscles, no nothing. They put me, hey, hello, thank you, welcome to Greece. You know, okay, no problem. So we have to make a plan for you. Okay, so today you're going to start with 1.5 pounds in each hand. So the guy, the Guido that sits over there, look at this guy, 1.5 pounds. I lift 1,500 pounds for an hour. Yeah. 10 years ago when you joined the gym, we also started 1.5 pounds. When a person is stingy, you don't come and say, give me $180 check. He'll commit suicide. You tell him, you come with a box to put a quarter. Quarter, he's thinking, quarter, yeah, no, quarter, the rabbi, the shamash comes again, goes like this, in the end, say, okay, no, quarter, he puts quarter. He suffers for an hour, tomorrow he'll come, again quarter, he puts a quarter, 55 minutes he suffers. The next day, 40 minutes. Oh, finally he's okay with giving quarters. What's the next step? Now he has to give 50 cents. So constantly he's increasing like the pounds. 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 5 pounds, 7 pounds, 700 pounds. You get there. It's a process. The Chazal said, I didn't invent that. It's in the Gemara. If a person gets himself used to do something, slowly, slowly you get used to it. Like everything else. Where does it say it in the Torah? אחרי הפעולות נמשכים הלבבות. After the actions follows the hearts. Not after the hearts follow the actions, like most people think. I love it, I'll do it, Rabbi. Don't pressure me. What do you have to offer? Tefillin, 2 minutes a day? I love it. Mezuzah? How much? $60? Okay, I love it. Put it here. Here, $60. I have mezuzah, Baruch Hashem. Tzitzit, come to me in the winter. Not now, Rabbi. Rabbi, look, 105 degrees. People died somewhere today in America. They want Rabbi, want pikuach nefesh, tzitzit. So he choose. I like this I don't like. Kosher food, you know, I'm in Queens, every other restaurant is kosher anyway. Okay, we'll work with that. No, seder. I agree. Shabbat? Rabbi, Shabbat, business is booming on Shabbat. Of course, business is always the best in Shabbat. Of course, why? If it will be a lousy day in the register, even the Goyim will keep Shabbat. What's the test not to? It has to be difficult. So Hashem makes it difficult. It has to be difficult. That's why in Shabbat, the Yetzer Hara sends a lot of customers. Always like that. We move on. Anger. Another serious problem. Anger shows that a person has no emunah in Hashem. By seeing a person that is angry all the time, you're learning right away a few things about him. First thing, that it's not pleasant to be around him. That's one thing that you learn. The second thing you learn right away is that he has no faith in Hashem. He may go to learn Torah, and he may give beautiful speeches, but he doesn't have any emunah in Hashem. How do I know? Chazal says someone that is angry is equal like a person who worships an idol. What's the connection? Imagine your friend comes every morning, he put little Buddha with his mustache, silver, bronze, gold, according to his budget. He put some flowers and some dollars, and some ktoret, some smoke over there, and he comes to Buddha every day, he kisses the feet of Buddha. In India, they have big statues of Buddha in the temples. And everybody who comes in, they make the door very low. So as soon as you want to enter the temple over there, so you go like this, and you go in, and as soon as you rise, you see right away a huge giant Buddha, So automatically, before you even realize, you bow down to him as you enter. So the Israelis, they wanted to come take pictures, all the secular Israelis. So all the Israelis found a way how to enter the temple in India. They all go in reverse. So I'm going to bow down to this. Even the secular Israeli understand, listen, that's already too much, bowing down to this gold idol, So somebody who's angry is just like this Indian that comes every morning, is very excited to bow down to his master that his father made him yesterday in his factory. His God was made yesterday. His God is 1 day old. He's 80. His God is 1 day old. No, go and understand the logic. But what's the point? Why an angry person is like a person who worships an idol? Because what's mutual to both of them? The one who worships an idol does not believe in our God that created the world and runs the show. This is his God. So he doesn't believe in God. Someone who is angry does not believe in God just as much. Why? Because if he knew that Hashem is giving him all these tests, why should he get angry? It's a part of my test. I get angry, I get rewarded for that. And when your boss tells you, I want you to do this, go on that trip, business trip, I'll pay you extra $3,000 for it. Even though it's not so pleasant to go on 3 days in the airports with suitcases, nobody likes it. But since he offers you X amount of money for it, you're very happy that you had the opportunity to go on a business trip, no? Because this is the whole idea, to be in business, to make money. This is the whole idea. Same thing here. If we came to this world, the whole life is one big test, what's the point of being angry every second? Oh, this guy did this to me in traffic, and my wife is driving me crazy. I told her 1,000,000 times, don't leave the toys in the middle of the room. We all go crazy about this, but this is against the test. So let's conclude so far what we say. Being stingy, big risk. Angry, big risk. Proud, ego, big risk. Humble is very good. Someone is humble, even is not so religious, you can walk with him, because he's a humble person. Most of the people who rebel against religion comes only from one reason, ego. I am a man de Amar. I know better than Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. I'm better than the Rambam. I'm better than the Vilna Gaon. You tell me what they say, I say what I say. The person realizes I'm a little roach, a mosquito compared to the Rambam. He doesn't open his mind. Oh, yeah, the Rambam say it. No problem, no problem. Sometimes people tell me in the lecture, not the lectures in English, in different language. They say, Lo kuval alai. Who knows Hebrew here? I quote something that Hashem says in the Torah, and she gets up and say, or he, Lo kuval alai. I'm not accepting it. So I say, imagine I go to a big meeting now in Microsoft. Bill Gates, the other one, all these big shots of Microsoft, and here I showed up. And everything they say, I jump and I say, no, I don't agree with you. That's not the way to run Microsoft. No, change this. Change the color, change the product, cancel this computer. I'm making a damage to myself. Nobody will take me serious. People here in this world have the nerve to say whatever Hashem say, I cannot accept it. It's not for me. It's not stylish. Rabbi, we're in the 21st century. Like Hashem didn't know that the Torah will stay for this generation. He didn't know. He didn't know. He knew. He knew that people would like fashion and style, and the Torah still applies. Same thing, 100%. So let's move on. What does a guy has to look by the girl? So far we spoke about guys. Number one, modesty. Now I know what you're going to tell me, Rabbi, but I'm not modest. I'm half Guido, I go to the club, I sit, I take the yarmulke out of my pocket when I make Birkat Hamazon. Why do you expect me to take Sarah Imenu? I'm not Abraham. I had a couple for years, they blaming one another. When you tell her, why are you not dressed modestly and cover your hair? She says, look at my husband with all his muscles every day in the gym, looking like shaving his hair, walking like I can walk with my hair covered with this kind of husband, walking the street without a kippah, with his t-shirt cut like this. She has a point. You come to him. So why don't you change? Why don't you start going mikveh, Torah? Change, enough with all this. So I say, look at my wife, how she dressed. Why do you expect me to go with a kippah with this kind of wife? Baruch Hashem. Each one of them, they got divorced and they have a different. She got what she deserved and he got what he deserved. You understand? For good and for bad. I'm not telling you who's good and who's bad. One went to the good way, one went to the other way. But Baruch Hashem, each one blames the other. It's like when a person dies, Chazal says, the soul says, what do you want from me? It's the body that made the sins. The body says, what do you want from me? It's all because of the soul. Without the soul, I couldn't move. So Hashem puts them together, express to hell. What is it like? One guy had an orchard, and he put a guard there to watch that nobody steal oranges. And every day he comes, tons of oranges are missing. So he realized that the guards are stealing. So he had an idea. He said, I'll put one of them with no legs, and I put the other one blind. So the one without legs cannot steal. Where is he going to go? He just have to sit here and see who's coming and scream, call me to come out. And the other one is blind, so what damage he can do? So one day he comes, you see more oranges are missing. So he comes to them and says, how come? I chopped your legs, I took out your eyes. What's going on here? So he said to him, yeah, he put me on his shoulder. I'm the eyes for him, and he's the legs for me, and together we're perfect team. That's what's going on. He blames his wife, she blames him. That's the story of the creation. Adam blamed Chava, Chava blames Adam, she blames the snake. Everybody blames somebody else. Nobody takes responsibility. It's her fault. Aisha, here, the woman you gave me, it's her fault. We move on. So what are you checking about the woman? Modesty. Now if you come and tell me, but I'm not modest. So what's my answer to you? Your problem, not mine. Be modest. And then after you be modest, you would want a modest girl. If you want a girl that all she cares is to show her body in weddings and in the street when she walks, there is no chance, 1 to 1 million, that you're going to have a good marriage. Not 1 to 1 million. To talk about good kids, holy kids, there's not even a chance. Nothing. The woman walk half naked every day, and she has good tzaddikim kids, talmidei chachamim. One day there'll be big rabbis with this kind of mother. You never find such a thing. There's no hocus pocus, no miracles. What you do, that's what you do. What you get later. What you cook today, what ingredients you put in your soup, that's how you're going to enjoy your soup. You put poison, you eat poison. You put delicious spices inside, you enjoy the soup. You work on yourself, you get a better wife. You get a better wife, every second of your life is better. You have kids, the kids are better. One day you retire, you have grandkids, everybody comes, you are head of a tribe. What made you like this? You worked on yourself before the marriage. What's the proof? The Gemara says in Masechet Sota, Al Marish Lakish, מזווגים לו לאדם זיווג לפי מעשיו. Person gets his zivug according to who he is. There are two zivugim in the life of a person. One is when Hashem created the souls in the beginning, since everyone is equally righteous. It's a new product, the soul. The soul did not make any sins yet. The soul just entering this physical world. So all the souls are clean, pure, no sins, no spiritual stains. In the beginning, Hashem announced which female belongs to what male. That's called first zivug. Later, when we all coming in Gilgulim, reincarnations again and again and again, how does Hashem put us together with our wives? How? Depend who you are. If you are in level A, you can only find a girl in your level. You don't find a guy that age 20 finished the entire Talmud and is a big Yerei Shamayim tzaddik that is connected to Hashem like crazy glue, with a girl that just came out of the beach an hour later. You never find such a shidduch. You never find a girl from Beit Yaakov Tzaddikah that reads Teilim and loves Hashem and modest and always her hair is always picked up. She's not putting tons of makeup. She's not going to places that a Jewish girl not supposed to be there. Somebody like her marry some Guido that came out of the club with 5 tons of gold on him and all kinds of earrings. It doesn't go together. It cannot be a shidduch. Everybody gets what he deserves. The Gemara says, מזווגים לצדיק צנועה ולרשע פרוצה. I always like this example because it answers everything in life about marriage. Usually tzaddik means righteous, rasha means wicked. So if the Gemara says righteous boy the Gemara should have said righteous girl. Wicked boy get wicked girl. That's not the language of the Torah. No. The Torah says righteous boy with a modest girl. Modest girl. Wicked boy with a prostitute. Why? Why only that? That's all you care, Hashem, about the woman, nothing else. What about Shabbat? What about Teilim? What about she cooks, she does chesed? You know, what about all the other things? It's all important, don't get me wrong. Without modesty, it's almost worthless. Modesty of the woman is the foundation of the house. Foundation of the house. Its generations after will benefit from the modesty of the girl. Today it's very difficult to be modest because everybody around here is not modest. In the old days it used to be a lot easier. You were nothing special. Almost every other girl is modest. To be not modest would be something you have the guts. Today, to be modest, you need guts. Because everywhere you go, hey, you crazy? You're only 20 and you dress like this? It's the Yetzer Hara. Same thing mikveh, when a woman gets married. No, Rabbi, the mikveh, it's disgusting. I cannot look at that. Unfortunately, because people speak like this, every mikveh that they build is $5 million and up. Why? Not to give these ladies any excuse that the mikveh will be like 5-star Hilton hotel. Every mikveh you go, some mikvehs, they bring people to see the beauty, like a trip, a tour. You pay money to come in to see how they made the mikveh. It's like going to Disneyland or something. Well, where are you going today? We're going to see the mikveh that is being built. Well, what's special about it? The beauty. Why? Not to give them any excuse. The water are being purified. They scrub everything over there. Everything is clean. Clean towels. Every woman before she goes in, clean the nails, cleans the ear, clean the body, take a shower, brush her hair. She comes in. After she goes out, you can take the water into a lab. You can drink this water. That's how clean they are. Over there, not for me, Rabbi. I can't. Take her to Sheraton Hotel in Manhattan or in Cancun, I don't know where. She's swim. Beautiful. 5,000 kids made their bathroom there just from the morning. All the kids there. Mommy! all these guidos with their sun lotions, you know, they're all full of oil. They jump in, all the oil goes inside. So it's mixed with bathroom, with some oil, coconut oil, some creams, hairs that falls off. People were sitting with all their sweat, so now the sweat also got involved. Then chloride started. Mamash, delicious Chinese soup. Over there, she has no problem swimming and sometimes even accidentally drinking the water. And she doesn't vomit after she drinks some water. But when it comes to the mikveh, Rabbi, you know what the sacrifice it is for me to go in? You know, in the old days, the mikveh wasn't like this 50 years ago. 50 years ago, 50, not more. In Bukhara, in Morocco, in Syria, you know how the mikveh was? A huge hole, 200-300 feet under the ground to reach water, spring water. They had to make it very, very deep. It wasn't like today, rains coming, comes into the pool, cement, beautiful marble. No. They made a cement hole, very, very ugly. And the water is either spring water, most of the time it was deep, so it's spring water that comes out from the ground. Fill up it's sometimes mixed with sand, and you had to go with the lamp with oil. It's not like today, electric, everything nice, shiny, mirrors. A woman had to go in, she takes a towel with her, and it has to be at night. No cars, no lights in the street, no perfumes, no Winnie the Pooh standing over there. Madam, please let me open the car of the limousine when you come with your fur coat into the mikveh. No. She comes, whether she's rich, poor, it doesn't matter. She comes with a lamp, a little piece of towel, and she had to walk in the stairs. Ooh, snakes, scorpions, cats, rats, they all joined the party. Yeah, that's how it was. Other option was, like in Russia and other places, to walk, take off the clothes, go walk on the ice. Walk to a place where the ice is a little bit soft, take a stick, break the ice, make a little hole, take off the clothes, 10 o'clock at night, 20 below zero, and go into the water and comes out. That's how it was. And everybody went to the mikveh. Today, it's not enough, Rabbi, 5 stars. You get what's going on here? Modesty, number 1. Number 2, also midot. The personality of the girl. A show-off girl, a girl that has an opinion about everything and she wants to be the boss. 2 bosses in one room, it's very difficult. What did the Torah say? When a man married a woman, who is the boss in the house? Who did Hashem nominate to be the final word in a family? The woman or the man? Today, if you check around, it looks like the woman is. The Torah says the man is the boss. Right away, I see half of the women here getting offended. Feminism, Rabbi, what? Don't be primitive. Don't be primitive. The reforms, not only the women control, she's the rabbi of the shul. The gabbai is a man, the rabbi is a woman with heels and a leather yarmulke and a nice talit with a tchelet. She comes with a microphone. Baruch et Hashem Amvorach. And all the ladies, hallelujah. You understand what's going on? Yeah, that's what's going on today. In America, go to Philadelphia, see what's happening there. In Yom Kippur. The priests come to visit when the member of his choir. So you have half of the Jews, half of the Goyim together. They sing hallelujah in Yom Kippur with the piano. That's the way you want your life to look. Or you want a wife like your grandmother used to be. You know, I remember, I'm not such an old guy, but when I was a kid, I used to go to people's houses, so I saw how the older people from the previous generation used to respect the wife, the husband, how they used to do everything, never complain. And they got married 12, 13, 14 was already an old woman for marriage. 11, 12, before her bat mitzvah she was married already. Age 18, she already walked with 2, 3 kids. She does the laundry, they have a donkey in the backyard, they grind the wheat, they make bread. No laundry machine, no dryer, no air condition, no nothing. No complaints. Today, the more you have, the more complaints. No, go and establish a home. So, rule number 1, modesty. Number 2, check who the girl is. Angry, liar, wants a show off, all she cares about is what she dresses and what she's going to buy tomorrow. Marriage cannot be successful with this kind of woman. Woman that she's down to earth, she can be pretty, she can be not so pretty, down to earth, she doesn't have high demands, she knows the role of her husband, she knows her role, she can prepare for the marriage. That's a chance to succeed. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. Now, finally, prayers, the most important thing. Above everything I say, in this generation especially, when the world is a complete zoo, it's very difficult to find shidduchim. The system is completely broken to pieces. There's no shadchanim that knows how to do the job like it used to be. The whole system is all materialistic. If you have money, they're offering you, and if you don't have money, they don't. There's so many problems around, a lot of politics, a lot of racism. I don't want to go into details. Everybody understand what I'm talking about. One thing we have to rely on, Al Avinu Shebashamayim. If he doesn't help us, nobody helps. So that's why I tell every single guy and girl here, don't be embarrassed. Every day, make yourself a schedule. 20 minutes, 30 minutes that you have time, instead of sitting and watching a soap opera and cry because somebody shot somebody there. Yeah? Instead of that, just lock yourself in a room with nobody bothering you and speak to Hashem until you feel the tears coming from your heart. Goes directly from your heart on the floor. And you talk to Hashem and you see miracles in mamash, in weeks. You see everything starting to change. It's amazing sgula. With tears. No tears, it's not going to be so productive. Hashem, I'm already 30, I'm 35, I'm 40, I'm 40, everyone with these problems. How much more are you waiting? How much more? You want me to be 70 in my son's bar mitzvah? Help me out now, scream, talk. I don't give any guarantees, I'm not Hashem. I'm just telling you what the Torah says. Hashem says, I say it in His name. Sha'arei dim'a no ninalu. The gates of tears are not locked. Some gates are locked from our sins. The gates of tears will always be open, no matter what sins we do. And we make plenty of sins, each one of us, many sins. One thing we can rely on. I'm a sinner, I'm wicked, I'm not faithful, I'm not honest, I'm not religious enough, but I have one weapon. I come into the room and I cry to you like a baby, and right away the tears wave most of the problem of the stains, and you're willing to listen. Okay, let's set you up. Then one other thing, you have to be very careful, those who are Kohanim, which girls they're dating. Because for instance, a girl was with a goy, she cannot be with a Kohen. Also, some Kohanim, believe it or not, hard to believe, they hide the fact that they're Kohanim because they're afraid not to get married. Because they're already 40 and older, and they know that in this age it's very difficult to find a single girl. They're only offering you a divorced one. And they don't tell the Shadchanim that he's a Kohen, because his last name is not Kohen. His last name is something else. His grandfather was a Kohen, he just became recently religious. It's not saying. Why? Because if he say I'm a Kohen, they won't offer him any divorced one. So now he has to sit and wait that they're giving him a single girl, 37 years old. It's out there. So they hide it. You gotta be careful. If a woman marry a Kohen and she's divorced, the kids are halalim, Hashem Yerachem. Don't expect any blessing in this marriage. Also, you have to be very careful. There are Jews today that are really goyim. You have to know that. A lot, more than you are imagining. You grew up with them from kindergarten, check, you see that they are goyim. The Prime Minister of Israel, Ariel Sharon, did you know he's a goy? Nobody knows. He's a goy. The Minister of Defense, Raful, was a goy. There's so many singers in Israel, they are goyim. They have Israeli names, Israeli accent. Nobody can dream that they are goyim, but if you know who their mother are, they're goyim. Either they're fake converts, reform converts, or they never converted. One Jew marry a goya, and the kids are goyim. The kids grew up like Israelis or like American Jews, but in reality they're not Jewish. If the man is not Jewish, at least the kids are still Jewish. The woman is not Jewish, you just cut your descendants, your genealogy is cut from now and for eternity from the Jewish nation. You got to be very careful. In some nationalities it's more popular. It's very difficult to them to supply a proof of Judaism. Just because the mother claims she's Jewish, how do you know? Maybe the grandmother wasn't Jewish. You gotta be very careful with this. Just today I found out about a religious guy who married a Goya and had a Goy, and an Orthodox rabbi, which I'm going to find how can it be, made a brit to the Goy.
How is it possible? He's religious. How he...
I want to tell you, Alex, after 15 years of experience dealing with the public from morning to night around the clock, I see everything is possible. Everything is possible. Everything. I want to tell you a story. I met one guy from the community, a very wealthy guy. And after I met that guy, this guy, unlike many other guys, he was generous. He offered help. I took him to Israel. I showed him the yeshiva over there, in what condition the yeshiva are. He said, I'm going to support the yeshiva for the whole year. Don't worry about raising money for them. Leave it to me, I'll take care of it. After a year and a half that we are friendly, and he really supported the yeshiva with no problems, one thing happened. Somebody called me up and said, run quickly. He met a non-Jewish girl. She's driving him crazy. I called him up, I want to meet you in Queens. I met him in Orach Chaim Yeshiva in Main Street. I got it out of him. I took up his cell phone, I saw a telephone number inside. So I want you to delete the number, call her now, not to bother you, to delete the number right now. He said, no, Then when I started to look at the number, I saw 150 names of women over there. All women, one after the other. I told him, you're not embarrassed of yourself, you shomer Shabbat, put mezuzot in your house, you put tzitzit, and you're making sins day after day, night after night. So he said, but I have to return to her earrings. She has earrings that she left in my house, big silver earrings with diamonds or kubik zirconia. I don't know what was these earrings. So I have to go drive to Brooklyn to give it to her. I said, yeah, sure. Give it to me, I'll drive. I'll give it to her. You stay here. I took him to Austin Street to get a new phone. We smashed that phone. Then he won't take the numbers. 150 sins of karet inside that phone.
You smashed or he smashed?
I smashed with his permission. So, we saved the guy. No, that story didn't have an happy end. So far it sounds happy. Usually in the movies it's bad in the middle, it's good in the end. Over here it was good in the middle and it ended very bitter. After a few months, he went to Florida and he went to buy a very expensive watch. The Russian Goyot, before they came to the world, their mothers teach them the job. You know what job I'm talking about. Not all of them, some of them. That's a job. You want to get out of your misery, out of that village, out of the poverty, go where the wealthy people are going and hunt a wealthy guy. That's profession. So they're standing there over there where the expensive watches are. Who goes to buy a $50,000, $60,000 watch? Only very wealthy guys. So they stand over there, they have the beauty. As soon as he went there, she started to, the next thing, he brings her back to New York. A few weeks later, I find out about it. I confront him. This time, he doesn't cooperate like last time. No, I'm converting her. I'm already speaking to the court, to the Beis Din, to the rabbi, everything. Then comes the time of his wedding. So he says to me, are you coming to a wedding? Now I depend on him. The whole yeshiva depend on his money. It's a big test. I said to him, you really expect me to come to a wedding knowing that you marry a Goya? How am I going to stand next to the chuppah there and you give me a bracha and I know you marry a Goya? The worst sin in Judaism. He started to scream at me on the phone. Why you think you're better than all the other rabbis? He started to name all the rabbis that are showing up to his wedding. All Orthodox rabbis. One after the other. And some of them are bigger, much bigger chachamim than me, I tell you. They know much more Torah. And they're older and they have more experience. One after the other. So I said to him, with all the respect to those rabbis, I cannot come. Please don't get offended, it's nothing personal. It's against the rule. Of course, it's needless to say, he cut me out, doesn't want to even hear my name anymore, he cuts the budget, cut everything, but Hashem sent another guy, saved the yeshiva. 3 weeks after, Hashem sent another guy to save the yeshiva. So in the end, you don't lose by doing the right thing. You just have to challenge, to address the challenges. And that's the concept of the whole life. In the end, he married this Goya. And then I hear that he bought her a dog for $2,000, and now we have Goyish kids. He's over already. All his religion, he came to religion, in the end, it's like filling up water in a bucket and kicking it. And you lose everything. Convert. And if a girl convert because she loved the Mercedes of the future husband, that's not a conversion. It's called Giyur L'Shem Ishut. When a guy convert because he loved his girlfriend, or when a girl convert because she loved the guy, that's a fake conversion. She never gets a Jewish soul. Never. It's a waste of time and plus you see that they're not keeping mitzvot. Conversion. She came out of the Beis Din. Mazal tov. She used to be Christine, now she's Sarah. Very good. Tomorrow is Shabbat. You see her on Shabbat with her telephone walking with the tight jeans. You converted yesterday. Conversion means to become a tzaddiket, to keep the mitzvah. What's conversion is? What's the word conversion means? I was a goy, now I'm a holy Jew. A holy Jew doesn't walk like this in the street on Shabbat, talking on the phone or driving the car. So that shows you that they never accepted the mitzvot. Conversion means to accept the mitzvot of Judaism with no exception. If the goy say one mitzvah I cannot do, they're not allowed to convert him. He said, I'll do everything. Just leave me alone when I eat, I don't want to wash my hands. Rabbi said, no, I'm sorry, you already declared that one mitzvah you don't accept. Even mitzvah de Rabbanan. But that's not the top point. Let's conclude with some of the things. Once you finally are married, what's the key to have blessing in your house? Compliments. A person has to give his wife minimum 50 compliments a day. Great breakfast, what a lunch, I missed that lunch, you should do it more, even if it tastes like poison. When it comes to compliments, a person never allowed to be honest. It's not allowed to be honest. When it compliments, you're allowed to be the biggest liar in the world. The more you lie, the better it is. If a soup is horrible, what a delicious soup. You should be a chef in Hilton Hotel. Come on, you don't accept. Even if she knows you're lying to her, it does the job. That's the nature of a woman. She hears good things. She knows she's not as pretty as 20 years ago when he met her. She knows she had 7 kids already. She gained some weight. She got older. You know, with the years, we're not staying the same. But the fact that he tells her, for me, you're even prettier than 20 years ago. Even though she knows, she looks at the mirror, she knows it's wrong. But believe me, it makes great connection. Compliments all the time. The biggest mistake, never compare her to your mother or to your sister. You should do it like my mother. I have to take you to see how my mother makes it. You finished her. One other big mistake, finished her and yourself, obviously. She's finished, you finished with her. Another big mistake, never ever tell a woman anything about her weight. If you want to tell her that she became a hippo, you send somebody that you trust and ask her, do me a favor, when you speak to my wife, tell her enough pressing all day. It's time to get on some treadmill, If you tell her you gain weight, your intimate relationship with her are finished that moment for good. It will take 20 years to correct the damage. I always tell this story in my lecture. One time, right here in one of the shul, after the lecture, one guy comes to me and says, Rabbi, I'm finished, I'm broken. What? I think my wife is cheating on me, he says. I said, what makes you think? He said, I said, do you have any proof? He said, no, I checked the computer, I checked the email, I checked the phones, I checked the statement. No proofs. I even tried to follow her a few times. I have no proof that she meets anybody. But I'm sure that she is. I said, hey, you're contradicting yourself. Usually if a person follows his wife, after a day or two he'll find out what's going on. He said, no, I didn't find any proofs. I'm trying for the last few weeks, but I can't find. So I said, so what's the problem? He said, we used to be, in Hebrew we say zug yonim, like two dogs, you know? They're always together, don't leave each other for a minute. Every night we together, intimacy, you know, perfect. A long honeymoon, more than a year after the mamash, one long honeymoon. All of a sudden, she became very cold to me. Every time I come close, she makes I don't feel good, I have migraine, my head, I don't this, I have this, I have to go to the doctor tomorrow, I don't know what's going on. She's avoiding me, he says. It has to be that she has somebody else. So I told him, let me ask you a question. Didn't you tell your wife recently that she gained weight? He looks at me. So yes, she did gain weight. I know, but you don't have to tell her that. She lost her confidence around you, that's all. She's avoiding you because she knows what you're thinking about her. She remembers you made her very skinny, you know, thin and all that, and you gave her compliments about her body and everything. All of a sudden, you made her look at you, how you gain all this weight. She lost her confidence. So now, every time you come, she's always going to bring a blanket, she's going to go like this, she's going to make all these things to avoid anything with you. That's exactly what she's doing. So, okay, so let me correct it. I said, it's too late. Once the truth came out, you come to a guy, you're racist, you hate a black guy. Say, I hate you, you're black, I hate you. And then he says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, I take it back. I hate you, you Jew, you dirty Jew. No, I didn't mean it. They took my words out of context, you know? Context. So, this is baloney. Once you say the truth heard. Same thing I always tell people, give them the DVD to listen. He said, but they won't change. I said, how do you know? Once they heard the truth, there's no reverse. Why? Up to the point that they heard the truth, they live like goyim. Everything coincidence. Coincidence, everything. Accident, bad luck. Business, I got lucky. Traffic, wow, I should have taken a different highway. Hashem is not a part of their life. Nothing. It's all coincidence. A bunch of big coincidence. After they saw the Torah is real, Hashem is there, Hashem is watching, there's life after life, there's Shabbat, there's mitzvot, there's heaven and hell. They understand all that. Maybe they refuse to change. It's very natural. People don't like to change. They like to be lazy, to be a thief, to do what they like to do. They like to eat not kosher. They like to go to forbidden places. The Yetzer Hara is controlling everyone. But there's only one difference. Up to the time they watched the CD, they enjoyed their sins. It was very sweet. There's no God in my life. After they found the truth, every sin they do, it's a needle pinching in his heart. Look what I'm doing. I saw that that's not the right way. I saw that I'm going to pay for it one day. One little accident, they don't say anymore bad luck. I should have left home 10 minutes earlier. No. Oh God, why are you doing this to me? Please, no, have mercy. They change. A year or two later, you see them in Mincha. I had one time a bunch of guys. All of them hippies, hair. They came from India. They live next town, next to Monsey. One guy took me there. There was one guy sitting in a kitchen. There's a shelf there. He sits on the shelf, like a window between the kitchen to the living room. So I tell him, come, join us. He said, no, leave me. I'm not for this. You talk to them. It's not for me. No, me, oti azor. Leave me. No, I'm not interested. So this guy that brought me said, leave him alone. He's a lost case, this guy. So you know, when you tell him, leave him alone, right away you have more incentive to get him. Come, Eli, come. No, leave me alone. It turns that he listened more than all of them. He was pretending that he's there. A month later, I come to Satmer. You know what Satmer is? I come inside to daven mincha. Who do I see in front of me? Mr. Eli with the kippah, praying Shmona Esrei. A month later, I said to him, leave me, huh? No, not for me. I said, the truth is the truth. He's a very big Rav in Israel. He writes books. Rav Ovadia Yosef wrote about him, Talmid Chacham. When he went to Israel, he donated all his books to the shul. I opened the books. I saw all the comments he wrote on the side. Genius. Leave him, leave him, leave him. The truth enters, you live in a conflict. The same thing, modesty. A girl that doesn't understand what modesty is, she allows herself that all the guys would look at her and give her compliments. If she only see what a heavy price for every minute that she walks like this in the street, she's going to pay eventually. For $1 billion a day, she wouldn't agree to dress like this. After you show her the truth, even if she walks like this, she doesn't enjoy it. So very soon, a month after, she said, what's the point? I suffer walking like this. I'm not enjoying like I used to. Because now I know the truth. Same thing the guys. Mechalel Shabbat every Shabbat. If he finds out that he loses eternity for stupid ride that he drives on Shabbat here and there, the price that he's going to pay, the reward that he's going to lose for such stupid pleasure, doesn't make sense. Once he knows the truth, he cannot enjoy driving on Shabbat. That's the concept. How do you build your home? Besides compliment, everybody understand his position. Never ever mix the in-laws in your private problems with your husband or with your wife. It's the biggest mistake. It is impossible to correct it. Because you and your husband make peace an hour or two later or a day after. But the parents already hate him. Why? All they heard from you is negative about him. You got married. 3 months after the marriage, already 9 incidents. Every couple has incidents and arguments, especially in the beginning when they're not experienced. The parents record everything. The mother see her son-in-law, she cannot look at him. Why? She heard 9 different times that he abused her daughter, he's not nice, he left the house, he kicked her out of the house. Whatever happened between couples, she cannot look at him. Then it gets to a point that the in-laws getting involved and ruining the marriage with their own hands. It's one thing that they sit home and cry, which is also not smart to tell them, to make them suffer. But then comes the next step, that they start to interfere. And they call, and they speak Lashon Hara, and all of a sudden the whole street knowing that this wife is horrible, my son is suffering from her. Don't give her a chance to make tshuva, or to him to make tshuva. I promise you, more than half of the marriages in this place, Queens, are broken because of the parents. And whose fault it is? The couple. Why are you getting your parents involved? What, you're a little kid in kindergarten? Be a man, handle your life. What is this? Every little thing about your wife you have to tell them? Plus, there's one more conflict here. Women and men don't understand what the Torah says. The Torah says, ועזב את אביו ואמו ודבק באשתו. What's the rule of marriage? A person is leaving his father and mother and getting sticking to his wife. Which means his wife is top priority. If the wife says, I want to go here for Pesach, and the parents say, no, we want you to go there, the parents do not count them. You have to go with what your wife is happy with. Of course, if she wants to go to Miami Beach, you don't have to listen to her. She'll destroy you and her together. But if she wants to go to a kosher place, let's say she has a sister, they're religious, that's where she's happy to be in Pesach. You got to cooperate with her. You have to make your wife happy. You understand the idea? The parents do not count. If the wife wants to stay home and your parents want you by them in a holiday, you have to go with what she said, not what they say. If your father makes a comment against your wife, you have to cut him that moment. Not to let him say it and let him feel that it's okay to speak against your wife. You have to tell him, I expect you never to do that mistake. This is my wife, you're not allowed to talk against her. Whether you like it or not, keep it to yourself. Even that you have to respect your father, your wife comes before. Your family comes before. Same thing the women. They want to get married, but they want to be 1 block away from the mother. To live in 2 worlds. I need my husband. I already have 5 cars. That's okay.
It's cold.
Baruch Hashem. I say always, when you come to a place that is hot, you only suffer for the first 2 minutes from the time you come after a shower and you're all clean. Once you begin to sweat, it doesn't matter anymore. Whether you sweat 1 gallon or 5 gallons, doesn't matter. I feel my back as the Niagara Falls. But somebody told me, don't worry, you lose weight, it's good. Free exercise. So anyway, mamash 5 more minutes and I give you time for questions. Never get the parents involved. Never. How much ishtadlut a person has to do? One other problems we say that financial problems, especially in these days, sometimes ruining the marriage. How a couple get to a situation that because they are broke and they don't have enough money, they are considering to end their marriage? How? Only one reason. No emunah in Hashem. If a Jew knows this is the way Hashem wants me, there's nothing to do with the fact that I'm married or single. Hashem wants me right now to be poor. Not to have money for cars. Not to have money for restaurants. Not to have money for a new suit every month. That's what Hashem wants. Why does my wife has to pay the price for my children? Just because, the same thing the wife. Wives have to know when to demand and when to let go. So wife see that the husband is working very hard and he doesn't make enough living. She has to give up a lot of her demands. Even though she's suffering from it, she got used to it by her parents, she has to adjust herself to the new situation. Right now Hashem wants you to live in poverty. He wants you with 5 kids in 1 bedroom. If He didn't want you here, He wouldn't be here. So why are you blaming your husband for it? The husband is a puppet. He's not bringing the parnasah. Hashem sends the parnasah. What's the point of blaming him? Same thing, thinking that I'm going to send him to work an extra job won't solve the problem. The more he's going to work, the less he's going to make. Why? Because he doesn't learn Torah. Torah comes before work. The Rambam writes, even a poor person who knocks on door for donation every day, he depends on those money to feed his children. If not, they starve. They have no income. They knock on door, give me $2, $1, $1 quarter, $5. He goes to the supermarket, he buys some basic stuff to eat. Somebody like this is not dismissed from learning Torah. My kids will starve. Torah comes first. The Torah is food for the soul. It's more important than food for the body. A wife has to promote learning Torah, to push her husband to learn Torah. The more Torah is going to learn, the better husband is becoming. You have to remember this. If the husband doesn't learn any Torah, he has no manners, no derech eretz, no holiness. If he learns a lot of Torah, he doesn't look at other ladies, because the Torah melts the Yetzer Hara. If he doesn't learn Torah, every lady on the street, he looks at her like this all day. In a restaurant, look. Not only he looks, he gets to a point that he tells his wife, what a pretty woman just walked in. His beard is all the way to the floor. And he said to his wife, wow, what a pretty friend you have. That's how the Rabbi Yoshua ben Korcha threw JC from the yeshiva. J.C. Penney walked with his rabbi. Rabbi, look at the pretty ladies over there. The rabbi said, oh, you're looking at the ladies? You're learning in my yeshiva all day Torah? Out of the yeshiva! That's how it started. 2 billion Christians followed this religion because he was looking at the ladies. All the ladies' fault! That's how JC was kicked out of the yeshiva. One of the Tanaim saw that his girl is so pretty, when every man that walked by looked at her, he started to pray to Hashem to take her away. Why? What father prayed to Hashem to take his daughter away? What? A father that understands that this life is not important like the next life. It's better I will lose her in this life than lose her for eternity. If my daughter walks in the street and everybody looks at her beauty and makes sins after her, she is guilty of many things. She has a problem. It's an obstacle. Every woman wants to be pretty. It's not always good. Average is better. Too pretty is problems. All the guys who marry 2 pretty girls, they have problems. Problems everywhere. That's how the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara doesn't leave the handsome people. The more pretty they are, the more problems they have. If they're average, to be ugly is not also, it's not a bargain, you know. To be average is always good. Not to be too rich, not to be too poor. Not to be too pretty, not to be too ugly. Not to be too fat, not to be too skinny. But one thing, it's good to go all the way to the extreme. Pride. From pride, you have to go all the way to the humble side. You gotta be humble. With ego, there's no 50-50 like everything else. The Rambam writes, a person has to be normal. Not too proud, not too angry, but not a fool. That everything people step on his head. When you have to stand on what you deserve, you have to say. But when it comes to ego, not even 1% is permitted. I'm nothing. You understand? That's what's going on here. If a person learns Musar every day, even with his wife, it's very recommended. There's a couple in Muncie, they have in their living room a guideline, an agreement. Somebody that went to eat there by Shabbos, he told me. He said, you're not going to believe. They have a takanon. You know what takanon is? Like an agreement with provisions, contract. What does it say? If we're going, and they both sign on it, and they hang it on the wall. If we have a fight, we must resolve the issue before we go to sleep. That day, not tomorrow. So we cannot go to sleep. Moshe, it's 1 o'clock. You want to apologize? No. Okay, we continue to wait. We sign. It's letter. You know what? Okay, forgive me, I'm sorry. Next time I'll give you more money, don't worry. One rabbi's wife was making him tea for 6 months every morning. One day he left a little bit. She comes to drink the leftover. She drinks, she spilled it. Boy, what happened? She been putting salt instead of sugar for 6 months. And the tzaddik doesn't make a beep about it. He drinks it not to insult her. And he goes. Only after she tasted, she realized what a husband she is. Rav Ben Zion Abba Shaul is the biggest rabbi in the world and the biggest Kabbalist in the world, the biggest Chacham, a giant. He sits in the kitchen and peel okra for his wife with a knife. And talk to her about the phone bill. He cares about the phone bill. He cares if he has okra or not. Anyway, he didn't eat all this. That's build relationship. The nature of a woman is to talk a lot. I need to talk. Not now, I'm tired, I had a crazy day in the office. But I need to talk. He doesn't understand, you must let her talk. You must let her talk. Even if you're not interested in what she said. You know, I went to the store, and there was red shoes, and then they came with the blue shoes. I got confused, but this one is buy one, get one free. I don't like it. The store, every time I go there, they're not keeping their promises. You know, I had a coupon, I lost it. You know. What do you care? Pretend. Oh, really? Very nice. You say, you go like this, and inside your heart, שניים אוחזים בטלית, oh yeah, what do you say? Repeat. If you don't let your wife talk, you'll never have healthy relationship. The nature of a woman, she's dabranit, she likes to talk. This is it, Rabotai. There's books about this topic. There's a lot to learn. The more you learn, the more your marriage is going to be better and better. A person has to know, this is the last thing for tonight, and then I give you time for questions. A person has to understand, if you be nice to all the people in the world, complete tzaddik, Baal Chesed, a holy person, you teach Torah, you save souls, you do everything, everybody looks at you, wow, what a legend. But your wife is not happy at home, none of your mitzvot will count. Your wife is your ticket to heaven. If she will sit home and cry, your parnasa get affected, your olam haba get affected, your children gets affected, your decrees get affected. A person has to understand that. People in some communities in Queens, without saying names, Amivin Yavin, we say in Hebrew, they think the wife is a shoebox. That you went to the store, you bought shoes, so you got it with it. No, what can I do? They gave me a box. You didn't get the wife because you need children, or because to save you from the sins. Yeah, it does save you from the sins if you have a wife. But that's not the purpose of it only. The purpose of it is that this is the other half of your soul. You don't like her, you treat her not good, you make her cry, you make her miserable, everything is a fight, you're like a policeman, like a little Nazi in the house. You know, Nazis, you see them, you freeze. That's the feeling of your household, the kids, everybody like this. You're not achieving your goal, but it's a big tzaddik. And there's another common problem among the very religious guys. When they become very religious, what do they want to do? To learn Torah all day. Sounds very good, no? Every rabbi will tell you, Baruch Hashem, what a tzaddik. No, not always. Depend. Not every wife in this state of her life can live this kind of life, that her husband is 10 hours in the yeshiva and she goes to work and takes care of the kids. She picks them up from school, kindergarten, and then she does the shopping, and she cooks, and she doesn't have a maid because he's an avrech, he doesn't have money. He learns Torah 2-3 years, and then she has a mental breakdown, and his house is finished. And the kids are on the street, one is here, one is there, one is a bum over here, one is a bum over there. Why? The Torah made it. You have to understand, even the greatest thing in history, which is the Torah, you have to know when and how. If she's not ready, if you chose her to be your wife, you are stuck with the situation. If you took a wife that she pushed you to yeshiva, don't worry about me, don't worry about me, I'll manage, I'm strong, and you see that she's really Eshet Chai, go ahead and learn, of course. But if you took a wife, she's, delicate, she's a little bit spoiled, she's, she loves this world, she loves to have normal apartment, she cannot live in a zoo. You chose her, you dated her, you saw who she is, it's not fair to do it to her now. You chose her, you told her, you swore to her in Mektubah that you supply her A, B, C, and you're not fulfilling your obligations. And what are you going to say in Shammai? But I learned Torah, so I have news for you. One rabbi was learning Torah all his life. And one time, being a speaker, it's a catch-22. If you make the lecture too long, even if everyone enjoy, later they complain. If you made it too short, they say, it was so great, why stop in the middle? It's a no-win situation. So one rabbi, he stayed 1 extra hour in yeshiva. Remember, in the old days, there was no telephone. So he couldn't call his wife and say, I'm staying 1 more hour to learn today. By the time he came home, he saw his wife is crying. What happened to him? He died. Is it possible that Hashem took a man that sits and learns Torah and he wanted to stay extra hour in yeshiva to learn, and for that he's going to die? What? He chilel Shabbat? What did he do? He went with Christine to the park? What did he do? What did he do? He sat and learned an extra hour Torah. So big deal. His wife cried for an hour. He comes, he apologizes. I'm sorry, I was in yeshiva, don't worry. She should also assume. But since he was very precise, every day he came home in the same time, and she thought that something happened to him on the road, she got so nervous, Hashem said, you should have been responsible not to make your wife suffer for this hour. Boom, for that he died. Why the Gemara brings this story? The rabbi should have hide a story like this, not put it in the Talmud. Shouldn't. If I would write the Talmud, I would think a million times to write a story like this. I don't want to discourage guys that learn Torah. It may discourage them. The answer is to show you, yes, Torah is the most important thing, but your wife comes before everything. And I know the wives are going happy home now. Wow, I made the year. But the wife understands that the man is the boss, and she was created for the man. Hashem made the woman from the man's body to show her without him you have no existence. You're not a separate creation. You are a creation that came through him. Why? Because I created you as companion to the man. You have rights, he has to buy you gifts, he has to give you all kinds of things, yes. But don't ever forget that your whole existence comes for one thing, to be the other half of this man. Without him you have no existence. If there was no men in the world, there was no women. If there was no women, there were men. That's Hashem made the man. And then after he said, Vayar Hashem ki lo tov heyot ha'adam levado. Hashem saw that it's not good for the man to be alone. He made him ezer kenegdo. Chazal says, Zacha Ezer. If he has the merit, she's Ezer, she helps. Lo Zacha Kenegdo. She goes against him. You understand? I think it's enough for tonight. I'm sure you have some questions about it, or even things that I did not speak about. The singers, the married, Baruch Hashem, there's a lot of people here. Now it's the time I will try to answer all your questions. Anything about the marriage, about children, about dating, now it's the time. No? Everyone is afraid to be the first one.
We should date before you get married. Good time.
Depend. If you're Hasidic, how long people should date before they get married? The Hasidim date once or twice and they get married. That's their mentality. The other religious people marry for few months, dating for few months, 2, 3 months, 8, 9, 6, 5 dates, depend. Baalei tshuva, people who grew up not religious and then became religious, they need more time. Why? Because they are in their mind is very contaminated from all the sins of the past. And everyone he dates is comparing to this girlfriend, or to that girlfriend, or to this girl that he dated, and to that girlfriend that he had in high school, and makes it much more complicated. There's a lot of doubts. You have to clarify the doubts. You cannot get married with doubts. People come to me, okay, what should I do? The family of the girl is forcing, they're calling already to the shadchan, they want to close tomorrow. So I say, what do you say? He said, I like her, she's a nice girl, but what? I'm not attracted to her. You're going to get married to a woman you're not attracted to? Are you crazy? It's like committing suicide. Same thing a woman. You're going to live 30, 40 years with a man that disgusts you? Just because he's a nice tzaddik? Those days are over. It doesn't apply to Baalei Tshuva today. He went and made all the sins in the world. 2 years he's religious. He wants to be Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. No, don't worry. I'm the Chazon Ish. I don't have to see her, Rabbi. She's modest. She comes from a good family. She went to a good school. She learns Torah every day. Good, I marry her. Well, what do you mean? You have to see her. The Gemara says you must see her before you get married. Why? Maybe you won't like her. And then you're going to violate with sin. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. If you're going to live with a wife that you don't like, every second of your life is a sin. The soup is not tasty. Not because it's not tasty, it's delicious. Because you don't like her. The toys are bothering you. You care about the toys, come on. You don't like her. You have problems with what shirt she bought the kid. You care about the shirt? You care about her. When you don't like somebody, everything becomes an issue. Yeah.
How about if you, on that moment when you date, you're sure, you're clear, everything is fine. How to keep that spark into the marriage? After all the compliments, you're forcing yourself. After everything what she's doing anyway. After kids running around, everything is fine. How you keep that?
One good advice to keep the spark is obviously to keep tarat mishpacha. On and off. 2 weeks together, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks together.
Again,
2 weeks.
it's
So that's physical. Physical is a lot. Don't think physical is not important. Physical, it's a lot. If a man is physically attracted to his wife, it will make the marriage much better. If he's not, I don't want to tell you what it leads to. Okay, so that's very important. So physically, this mikveh thing, it's a hocus pocus, it's mamash magic. It's the brilliance of Hashem to keep the marriage going for 60 years and always being renewed. That's one thing. Second is, if you continue, not you, I mean, if a person got married and he looks at other ladies all the time, it would ruin his marriage one way or the other. Because his wife cannot compete with every Miss Beauty that he just saw on the street or in a magazine. It cannot be. So the Torah says, watch your eyes, watch your eyes. The more you see, the more doubts you're going to start having about your wife. Plus, the wife has to make sure she always prays for her husband. Don't count on the fact that your husband already married you and he likes you and it's fine. No. If he knows you with makeup and dress properly and whatever you did to look beautiful in the first date, in the second date, and in the 10th date, even 5 years later, it has to be every day. Women are making big mistakes. Sometimes they neglect themselves. I'm already tired, 3 kids all day, I ran, I clean. Yeah, let him come home and see me like this with the schmatter on my head. You know, if she has to remove hair, so she has to remove hair. All these things is very important. I'm telling you, I would open a college, the divorce rate would go from 70% to 0.7%. Because most of the divorce come from ignorance. Personality issues and ignorance. And this can be treated. Yes?
Is it halacha if a Kohen, you were talking about Kohanim, if they remarry, do they have to go through the same process of marrying someone who wasn't married before or who wasn't dating?
Yeah, why not?
Or does
He has to meet her now to check everything out.
if he remarried, if he was already divorced and he's remarrying someone.
No, Kohen doesn't have limitation. If he's divorced, he can get married. But he cannot marry the divorced woman.
That's what I'm saying. Can he marry a divorced woman?
No, absolutely. Even if he divorced his wife, and a minute later he changed his mind. Let's say he gave her the get, and she went to say, okay, goodbye, it was nice meeting you. And she walked through the door, he said, okay, I changed my mind. Give me the get, let me repeat. He cannot return.
Not the same wife, but someone who wasn't divorced.
Come on. If he cannot take his own wife back, it's needless to say somebody else. Needless to say. His own wife. Just over a minute ago. Yalla, come back. Let's read the divorce is divorce. Finished. More questions? Now it's your opportunity. Later you regret you didn't ask.
When you're dating, how much do you have to tell your other person? How much of the truth do you have to tell your other person?
Okay, dating. And datings, I know there's a lot of singles here. Dating, in the first month, it's all a show. Don't be impressed by your handsome guy that opened the door for you and bring your parents beautiful roses. And call you 15 times a week to say, wow, I can't wait until we finally make l'chaim. All this beautiful, ideal, romantic situation, 6 months later in the court, become a World War III. So don't be, and I always tell my students, I told them in the first few days, what you see, it's not what you get. Same thing I tell the girls today. What you see, it's not what you get. The angry wolf become a little mice when it comes to the dating. Later, you're going to find who you really married. So the idea first to investigate very carefully who you're going to date. Don't count on a shadchan. Shadchan in Hebrew, abbreviation, sheker, dover, kesef notel. Sheker, dover, lies, tell, money, take. Not all. Some shadchanim are righteous, they do it for the mitzvah. The other ones, they only want to just count the cash. So, you got to investigate very carefully. Not everything you have to tell. If you go and you know you have something, some of the things, there's a halachot about it. I'm not going to be able to teach you everything on one night, but some of the things you must tell. Some of the things you don't have to say. If they find out, fine. If they didn't find out, you're lucky. They have all the time to check about it. You know, you don't have to come and tell her I wasn't the best student in a class. If that's the impression she got, that you were a very big chacham in yeshiva because somebody told her that, okay, Baruch Hashem, that's what you think, that's what you think. Because she shouldn't leave you because you're not number 1. If you're number 10, it's also fine, as long as you have good midot. But sicknesses, certain sicknesses you cannot hide. For instance, bipolar, manic depression. People look completely normal, you don't see anything. 2 months after the marriage, hospital, police, handcuffs, shots, 3 weeks in a mental institution. If somebody makes a shidduch to somebody like this and hide that fact, he's a murderer. He will be guilty of murder in Shamayim. If you make a shidduch to someone that you know has a record of being hospitalized and losing control and driving the car like a crazy and hit people on the street and do all kinds of things, not because he's a bad person. He has problems with the chemical in his brain. It's not controlling it. Doesn't his wife has the right to know that she's subject to this kind of life? You know, that's called lo ta'amod al dam recha. But what about him? He'll never get married. What about her? Her blood is not red. His blood is not Jewish. Some of the things is lashon hara that you must say. Lashon Hara, it's not always not allowed. Sometimes it's a mitzvah. If somebody comes and asks you, I want to marry this guy, and you know this guy is the biggest thief in Queens. Proven. Steal, forged credit card, was arrested a few times, but I don't know it yet. You must say, what? He's a very big thief. Go and check. If you don't say, you're guilty. Because later on, when this person will suffer with kids at home all their life, you could have prevented it. Yes?
You just told us that your person who you're getting married, it's your mirror, whatever you deserve. So basically,
But you don't know it before the marriage.
But it's not in your hands.
Before the... No. You confuse what I said. I said the first time in the beginning of the creation when the souls were new, Hashem announced which soul connects to what soul. Second zivug, second role, when we came in another body, the Ari says, it's called zivug sheni, it's already depend on who you are. If you are in level Z, you get level Z. If you level L, you get level L. It's 100% according to what you do. So you gotta be very, very careful. If you elevate yourself before the marriage, your wife will be in a higher level. If you lower yourself before the marriage, you're gonna get somebody in a low level. Yes.
So once you get to the marriage, you still grow up on yourself. That reflects.
Yes. In the marriage, a person is obligated always to improve. If you're not perfect in a time, you have to remember, no one is an angel. Not every little thing you make a big deal in shidduchim. Sometimes girls call in to complain to me about something that they saw about the guy. For instance, the guy told a story about himself that the rabbi liked him in yeshiva and he gave him a compliment. So she's afraid that he's a proud person. You have to be clever. He's trying to impress you because he likes you. After he marry you, believe me, he won't tell story. But if it's every minute, then it's a sickness. Once in a while, a person likes to show I'm something. Take me, I'm good. My rabbi likes me because I'm smart. Not because I'm trying to impress you, because I really want to marry you. What's wrong about it? Not everything is a sickness. Plus, if you have doubts, you have to have a Rav to ask him, to get his opinion, to meet with him, to see what's going on. Plus, after you get married, a couple that doesn't have a third party, a rabbi that is a mediator between them, they are subject to a lot of problems. To prevent problems, you have to make a rule. When you and I have a disagreement, we call up the rabbi, I want to go to here and she wants to go there. I want to buy this car, she wants to buy this car. What are you saying? Whatever he say, we both agree, no more arguments. That will solve a lot of problems because there's no ego involved. You know, one couple went to the rabbi, they debating which car to buy. The wife wants to buy a very fancy car because her husband is making a lot of money. And the husband is afraid of Ayin Hara. You know? So he said to the rabbi, what's the point? Until now I drove a garbage car. Nobody pays attention to us. I'm going to drive this car that she wants. It brings bad luck. So the rabbi asked him, did you finish the Shas, the Talmud? Did you finish the whole Gemara? He said, no. So did you finish one Masechet? He said, no. So can I test you on one chapter, one perek, in the whole Talmud? He said, no. Can I test you on one page in the Gemara? He said, no. The rabbi said, you can buy any car you want. Nobody will be jealous with you. Go ahead. You got the point. He doesn't know two words in Torah. He's worried what the people are going to say. I have a car, not have a car. His level is 0 in Shamayim. He's worried about the car. Worry about your life, who you are. Don't know two words of Torah. Yes. Well, I answer your question? Nah. No. Last question for tonight.
Personal.
Yeah.
Based on your knowledge, based on it seems like you learn, you know, God forbid. It's a lot of guys who's younger than you. And who basically doesn't even start their lives, but they try to get married. If you, God forbid, if you're in a situation to get married, you think it's a bit easier for you to get married, to find the real shidduch?
Today?
Anything today. Based on how it was 20 years ago.
No, it would be much more difficult today. The people today
You
are...
know, You know basically inside and out. If any person, any woman looks right in front of you, you know everything about her.
Today the people became very materialistic. The society is very rotten and sick. Because almost every girl you're going to meet, first thing she asks, what do you do? How much you have in your bank account? If she doesn't ask, her father asks. And sometimes the guys is also like this. He wants to marry her only if she's rich. Now it's not only the girls want the guy if he is stable financially. The guys sometimes also make conditions. Like by the religious world in Israel, everyone who knows Torah, minimum he wants an apartment. He wants an apartment close to the yeshiva. And he wants her parents to pay him 7 years of salary. You understand what's going on? Not only it was difficult to get married, now they made it 7 times harder to get married. And many girls are 25, 26 in the religious world. It's not the regular world of Baal Tshuva that you can get married 40 and it's still okay. In the religious world, being 26 not married is almost like a death sentence. Because that's it. If she's going to get to 28, no, everybody will think probably she has a defect. She's barren or she's sick. If nobody married her, such a pretty girl until now, forget it. Why she's not married? Because her father is not a millionaire. That's all. That's her crime. So today it's very difficult. We have to make a switch in the mind of the people to stop thinking only about money and wealth and convenience and enough with this. We are not dogs that came to enjoy the water here and move our tails here. We're going to be here for a certain period of time. It's important to have a living, I'm not saying no. But there's much more important things. All these people who wanted wealth, if you see how miserable they are, I get their phone calls, they go crazy. What's going on in their big, nice mansion? You have no idea how miserable they are. A nightmare. I know because I see it. Before I knew it from the books. Today I know it from the books and from reality. Because I see them, I go to their houses, I get their phone call, I see what's going on.
And you come basically who you became. I'm sure you work on yourself. Most of us, basically, about half of our life, we grow up with the materialistic.
Right.
It's not easy to give away.
Right.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, but it must be done. No choice. It must be done. Must be done. The same thing to become Shomer Shabbat. It must be done, but it's not easy. You have to close the business. You have to supposedly
But it's only one day.
It must be done.
The whole life is one day with you. It's different.
Look, you have to understand one thing. A girl that has problems marry a guy that have problems. When both of them have problems, the whole marriage has a lot of problems. Each one brought his problems to the marriage. What's the chance to be successful? There's no choice. They must correct themselves. You want to have a healthy life. It's not enough to be beautiful and move your hair in a date and go to the bathroom every 10 minutes to put your lipstick. That's not enough. One day you have to be a mother. You have to be a modest, righteous woman. You have to cook. You have to make chasadim. You have to help guests coming. There's a lot of things to do. Okay, I think it's enough for today. I will tell you one last story that will take 30 seconds and I'll send you home. One guy came to the rabbi and said, Rabbi, they offered me a shidduch, this girl from that town. What do you think? So the rabbi told him, go on the train to that town. When you get off the train, come out to the street. The first person you see on the street, you ask him, what do you think about the family and the girl that you've been offered? If he tells you good things about them, marry her right away. If he tells you bad things about them, get back to the train and come back. Don't even date her. So he said, Rabbi, you have Ruach HaKodesh, you see things? So don't ask questions. You ask me, that's what you do. He trusts his Rab. He rode the train, he got there. He came out of the train, he see one guy walking with his briefcase. Excuse me, can I ask you a question? You know that family? Oh, yeah, sure. And you know that girl? Yeah, sure. What do you think? They offered her to me as a shidduch. Should I go ahead with that or not? Wow, what a great girl, what a great family, psh, the best. So I should marry her? Yeah. Good luck, mazal tov. He go and get married. A week after the marriage, he sees everybody on the street looks at him. Then he comes to someone, he said, tell me, what are you whispering behind my back over there? I said, we feel horrible for you. I said, what? from all this town, you marry the worst girl from the worst family? He said, what? The worst girl? He doesn't even know his wife. They just got married. So why the worst girl? So, her father is the biggest crook. It's all over the news here. He hit this one and hit one and stole from this one. And everybody hates them. Nobody wants to talk to them. The poor guy, his world is collapsed. Runs quickly to the Rav back. He goes to the rabbi. He's all angry. He breaks inside. Rabbi, you could have saved me from this nightmare. Why you didn't tell me that something that everybody knows? So the rabbi told him, every Jew is entitled to get a chance to get married, even if he's wicked. Not only the righteous are getting married. We saw in history that wicked people also deserve to get married. Hashem has plans for them. I know that in that town, everybody hates that family besides one man. There's only one man who likes them from 10,000 people. I say to myself, sending you on the street, asking the first person, what is the chance that you meet the one who loves them? 1 to 10,000. It's almost impossible. Guess what? From 10,000 people, who did you ask? That guy that loves them, because he's a crook like them. He's a father partner in all the robberies. So now be happy. Rabbi, what be happy? Be happy. You are the only person in the world that can swear with holding a Sefer Torah that you married your real shidduch. Everyone is thinking, is my wife is my real shidduch or not? Did I do the right thing or not? Even he loves her, this pride. He always thinks, how do I know it's my real shidduch? How do I know? You know for sure. What? Hashem directed you only to this person because she's your shidduch. Next time, before you blame me, blame yourself. That's what Hashem wanted you to. Thank you very much.